What is going on, everybody? It is Max and Trev with BuzzTox with another episode recap, review, theories, predictions. Anything else we call it?
I don't know. Really getting all those tag words in there.
Yeah, 100%. So we're just gonna probably talk and speculate about episode 2. Oh, episode 3 is next week.
Yeah,
we're gonna speculate about episode 2. Probably gonna be a pretty long episode. A lot of shit happened, and I love this episode.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
It was pretty amazing. Yeah, we high-fived after the episode.
We did high five, and we've released that 12-year-old boyish reaction video.
Yeah,
if you were
Christ.
on the first wave,
I'm
sorry for your eardrums.
I think I should be sued. I think I deffed like at least 100 people.
Yeah, I don't know if
so
deft
annoying.
is a verb, but we'll accept it.
I just verbed it. No, but what's it called? Just really quick. Next week is going to be a lot more punctual. This week I think we're 1 day behind, and then the reaction video is a day late. Which our reaction video is supposed to come out the day of the episode. But what happened was I wasn't able to get into my house, and I tried to tether off my mom's internet, so I sat outside in the back patio at 12 o'clock at night.
Oh my god, I didn't even know this friggin' layer of this story here.
Yeah, dude. My ass got soaked. I was cold. It didn't end up working out, so I just went home and then uploaded it quickly the next morning and ended up being so loud that it was literally unlistenable.
Yeah. But you posted it anyways.
But I posted it anyways.
Gotta get
but
it.
that won't happen again.
Gotta get it out there.
Okay, but no more wasting time. Let's get into the recap, speculation, prediction theory. All right, so let's start. In the start of the episode, let's
unpeel this onion. There's a lot of layers, guys.
100%. So we start with Bran, the three-eyed raven, or the blood raven. You see them just like spacing out. And so then we get a flashback of Ned, Benjen, and Lyanna Stark.
I actually have a pro question. A question for the pro.
Okay.
Is the Blood Raven a Targaryen?
Yes.
Did we learn that in the show, or is that are we supposed to know that?
I honestly think that's to be introduced.
Because I know they recast them, and we'll get into the child that they recast. But it's like, what? Why didn't they mention that yet? Because I
have no idea.
Maybe it's more important later. Okay.
I don't know. What would him being Targaryen have to what would that affect the story, or how would that affect the story?
Well, as the theory goes, maybe that's why he's able to show him certain things.
Well, I think that comes with Greensight. The whole idea of Greensight is being able to see the past.
Do you think it is, though? Or do you think it's it seems like he can just warp to any time or space?
I don't even know. I'm not a book reader. We'll see what happens. But he did show them Benjen, Lyanna, and Ned. There's also a couple other characters that we see in the show. We see Old Nan.
Yeah.
We see Willis. And we see, what's his name? The guy with the pigtails in his beard. And he gets beheaded by Theon. Roderick.
Yes, Roderick.
So yeah. Roderick, he was there too, training, and I like the scene a lot because you got a call back. I'll ring your head like a bell. You know, John said that, and then we see Ned say that.
Yeah.
But do you have any thoughts on the scene?
I just thought it was awesome. It's really cool, because you can see it's almost like this weird. I don't know, man. It got me really excited. I've been waiting for 2 seasons for Bran stuff now, and it's cool to see him up and walking around. I know he's in the dream state or he's remembering, but I just think it's so cool. It's just setting this up so well.
Yeah, but what's so good about it is they introduce Lyanna, and you see her on a horse. You kind of get the feeling that she's kind of like a badass kind of Arya type.
Yeah,
and then you figure
totally
that
Arya.
Yeah, in the earlier seasons they say that Arya is she's so familiar, she's so much like Lyanna, and Lyanna died before her time, and that's something that they say, which is another reason why I think Arya is gonna die before her time.
Yeah.
But another thing with Willis is Hodor. So this kind of gives us a clue to Hodor or Willis. He used to be able to talk. He was totally normal.
Yeah, so we don't know. He's a stable boy. Maybe it's a horse-related accident.
No, exactly. But what affects
Or he
somebody
sees something awful, like disturbing, PTSD style.
And that's what would affect somebody in that way. If you get hit a certain way in the head, it can actually affect your kind of speech, shit in your brain. I don't know. I'm not like a surgeon, but that's actually possible. Which shows that like Hodor is 100% there. He's not mentally challenged. He just can only say Hodor.
And did I miss this? Is old Nan, or I guess in this scene, young Nan, she his mom?
Yeah, I think.
Like, it was really like, I was like, what? Yeah. But it was like, there was too much going on. And I was like, oh, what? This guy's, it's like young Hodor. Hodor.
I don't know, but there's one thing that I pulled from this, and it shows the power of Hodor, okay?
I don't think we can pronounce his name, unless you say it really quick.
Hodor.
Hodor.
Okay, but no, what it was really, though, is it shows Bran's power. The reveal in, like, season 4, I believe, when he wargs in a Hodor, okay?
Yeah.
You think that he can warg in a Hodor just because he's kind of like a lesser mind human being. Maybe he has a disability. But we find out that he's actually a normal person with a strong mind. So Bran could really warg into any human.
Yeah.
It could be argued, which shows his power as a warg. And on top of that, we learn later, we're going to talk about later, the intelligence of dragons. I thought they were like dogs. But it seems that there's more intelligence to them.
Yeah, they're not like Tolkien-style dragons that are talking, but they definitely have, like, super sense.
Yeah, they have a lot more intelligence to them.
Yeah.
So, which kind of goes into, Bran, he might be able to warg into a dragon.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's so funny? So, another reason I'm proud about this scene is because it was really well done. So it wasn't, like, hacky magic, like, and all that stuff. It was well delivered and well communicated of the powers that this guy has. And for me, I don't need much when it comes to magic. But I have a group of people at work that were talking about this. And even now it has them talking about the magic aspects of Game of Thrones, which is really good. Because I think HBO knows their market and they don't tend to turn the magic up as much. And lo and behold, someone actually said, they're like, do you think Bran will be able to warg into a dragon? And I was like, yes, like, we're winning them back.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things, like, I really like what they're doing with Bran, because instead of just doing flashbacks, which, if they're done right, they're great, but if you just do a flashback for the flashback's sake, it seems kind of cheap storytelling.
No, because it's like truth being unfurled.
But if you go in with a character whose ability is going back in time, it adds so much more depth to seeing a flashback, and you can see his reaction of learning of what happened in the past. It just adds another layer to it.
Exactly.
But let's get out of that and go back to the Three-Eyed Raven. It's very similar to kind of like an Interstellar thing, where if you stay too long, you kind of become in love with it and you want to kind of stay forever. Because Bran's like, what the hell? Like, why did you take me out when I finally see something that I enjoy? I was home. And he said, under the sea is beautiful, but if you stay too long, you drowned.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really like important, right? Because you don't want to stay in like a warging state too long, because you need to be in touch with reality. That's really important because Mira, that's why she's really there.
Yeah. Like, my thoughts on Mira just seem like she's sort of like half bored, half mourning her brother. Like, they went all this way and then her brother dies right when they get there. And then Bran's like sort of being a dick in this instance because he's new, as he just gets to surf through space and time while they're just sitting there waiting for him, and he brags how awesome it is.
Yeah, and she has no purpose, and that's kind of, why she's so upset.
So she's just sitting there waiting. It's like the kid with the Game Boy that is like, just like, woo, this is so fun, and he's not like sharing it with anybody.
You watch, yeah. No, but like the most important thing was that the new ugly child of the forest, I think her name's Leaf.
Yeah.
She said something really important. She said, Brandon Stark needs you. And then she goes on to say, he's not going to stay here forever.
Yeah. Which I don't know. You go first. What you think it implies?
Well, it's like, I know so that means he's going to leave the tree. And, Mira is kind of there as moral support to kind of connect him to the real world. Mm-hmm. But also, she is there for a greater purpose, which would be to escort Bran somewhere. Do you have any idea where that would be?
I just think maybe out of the way of the others. Because like, I really don't geographically know where they are now. The others, like I was looking at a map, and Hardhome is in like the northeastern peninsula above the wall, if you look at a map. But at the same time, when Sam ran into them and when the Night's Watch got scattered by them, they were in the Frostfangs, which is on the total opposite end of where the wall pinched. So it's kind of crazy, like
getting all geographical.
But maybe they're looking for something because they can't pass the wall right now.
Well, it's like I don't think he would leave because of the White Walkers, because I think the White Walkers. I think of like the Night's King. He has the same abilities as Bran, and I think Bran is going to be the one who kind of figures out their actual motives.
Yeah.
And we talked about it earlier. We see the scene where he turns around and he sees the Night's King. I think that's going to be a shock to us, because I think he's going to be in watching a memory that he likes. Whether it's, like, I don't think it's going to be the Tower of Joy, but if we see a scene like that and then all of a sudden, boom, he snaps and then he's in this place with the Night's King, and then they can kind of have a conversation.
But maybe, like, it is memories more than it is space and time, because the Night's King would know why then Jon's so important, right? Instead of, they kind of conveyed it like the Night's King saw this guy and was, like, impressed or, like, maybe taken aback by him.
Well, it seemed like he already knew his importance in season 5 when Jon killed him with the blade.
Yeah, but I think after the fact, once he killed him with the blade, but when he just saw him there, he's like, okay, this guy's like a brave warrior. He's probably gonna die, and then holy shit, he just killed that guy. That guy's important. So maybe he doesn't know the story behind him, and maybe that's when we see the Night's King sort of intercept that memory.
Yeah, it's almost like he needs to leave to warn the others or do something of that sort, because why else would he leave?
Yeah, it's true.
I can't think of another reason why he would have to leave. Because, like, you'd think he could convey that message by warging into something and conveying that message. So why would he have to leave his post?
Judging by the next time on, it seems like we're going to get a lot more information from the Weirwood.
Yeah. And I always thought Bran was the one to replace the Blood Raven. And he's going to leave. Do you think he's still going to replace the Blood Raven's place?
I don't know. I feel like everything is coming to an end in the North. So I feel like he would be at a tactical... he would be sort of where the enemy is.
Yeah, but I would say the trees are safe, because I think there's information to back up that, the Weirwoods are also used by the Knights or the White Walkers, right?
Yeah, but
so why would they
if they walked in and they saw a Stark boy, right? Like, you don't know what sort of background the Raven has. He could have dealings with them, or like a deal to say, hey, I won't bug you, you won't bug me. Who knows, man? That's why I think we need a little bit more information on what is implied by these Weirwoods. I know he's learning everything, and it's a way of us learning something. But what is the end goal? Is he a replacement? Is it like a apprenticeship kind of thing where he's learning how to be whatever this guy's supposed to be? Because he only seems right now to have ever communicated with Bran through this to get him to come there, right? So there's a reason behind that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens in the later episodes. But let's go down to the Wall. So the Wall was pretty crazy.
Amazing.
So first of all, we start with Alistair Thorne knocking on the wall or on the door. It's nighttime. They're coming to get Jon's body. And then we see the scene that we saw in all the trailers. Never been much of a fighter. Apologies for you about to see. And then boom, pull out their swords. But they don't have to fight, because the Wildlings and Dolorous Edd come just in time.
Yeah.
What I loved about this was I'm noticing these two episodes, they're a lot more humorous.
Yeah.
When the Wan just grabs the guy who shoots him with a crossbow and slams him against the wall. Hilarious.
Yeah, they're really setting up that giant, because I feel like he's almost like a comic relief character now. Like the 3 major scenes that he's had, he's been like super funny, right?
That's actually true, yeah.
Where he's like, fuck off to the one guy, right?
Yeah.
And then when they're at Hardhome, he's just like, fuck this, and he just walks into the ocean, right? So he seems like a really good comic relief. So you sort of build this like, oh, what is he gonna do next? So I really hope he doesn't die in a battle, because now everyone has there's a small spot in everyone's heart for this thing right now.
Yeah, I can't blame him. And then Dolores, Ed walks in, and Alistair Thorne's like, you betrayed the Night's Watch, whatever. And he's like, no, you're the ones who betrayed the Night's Watch are the ones who stabbed, my Lord Commander, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Ollie tries to attack Tormund.
Yeah.
Tormund, and then they escort them to the cells. So what do you think happens to Alistair and Ollie and the rest of the Night's Watch members now that they're all in cages? And now the wall is ruled by wildlings, the very thing that they wanted to defend it from.
Yeah, so the kid's going to get forgiven.
But will the kid forgive?
I think he has no choice. Because this is it. Alistair's getting his head cut off, right? The kid's going to be forgiven because he's young and he was kind of emotional about the whole thing. Obviously, he was going to be pissed, right? And he's a kid, so he went by everyone else's lead and did what he had to do or what he thought he had to do. Alistair's getting either beheaded or burned, and Ed's going to be the new Lord and Commander for sure.
Yeah, and the kid obviously is so angry because his whole village was murdered by all these wildlings.
Yeah, but I picture a heart-to-heart that Jon has with him, and he kind of gets him on his side again.
Yeah, what I love about it, though, is that, everything is considered gray. Like, Alistair Thorne, he's not really considered a villain. He's just a guy who has more older views. He doesn't want to kind of, wildlings are bad. He doesn't want to mingle them together.
Yeah, he's like the conservative gym coach of the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but then I find it funny how Jon wanted to make peace, but then his death resulted in, like, wildlings are coming to save his body, but in doing so, they take over the Night's Watch.
Yeah, but wherever Jon's going, I think the wildlings are going. I don't think they're staying at the wall unless he says, half of you are coming with me, half of you are staying at the wall because we just lost a lot of good guys that betrayed me.
Yeah, true. Well, we'll come back to the wall.
Yeah.
Holy hell. But let's go into King's Landing. So we see the landing.
Welcome to King's
I said that
Landing.
Weird. we see this kind of poor dude. He's like surrounded by guys. He's telling this story about Cersei. Pulled up my cock. she licked her lips, swear to God.
Yeah.
That he went to go take a piss and the mountain just smushed him.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, what is the mountain's level of consciousness?
I was thinking about the same thing. Like, is she hearing things and then sending them out? Or is he somehow channeling any negativity towards her? Because I feel like he'd be constantly out killing people after what had happened in the last season. So it doesn't make sense in that sense. And I feel like you've never seen him leave her side since she's been back at...
Well, yeah, he's a slave to Cersei. But it's just like, where's his consciousness? He does everything she says, but he doesn't talk. He doesn't, do anything except for really do the best for Cersei.
Yeah, he's just like a straight-up guard dog. So it was kind of weird that happened. So there was kind of like an annoyed look by like a bar wench that was there. So I don't know. Maybe it was like they didn't really convey it because this episode, like we said in the reaction, was like sort of on 11. Like there wasn't much time between or dragging at all. So it's maybe crazy, it was like that rumor got up to Cersei over a period of time. And we just assumed that it happened right after it happened, and maybe she sent him to kill him, kind of thing.
No, it's just crazy how fast the show's moving now.
Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable. But then the mountain does go back to Cersei, and then you told me something really cool with her clothing, which I didn't even run by.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like he totally English essayed it. I'm like, Trev, just come up with some thoughts or like something interesting that you think or whatever. He calls me half an hour later. He's like, what about the stitching resembling this power struggle of blah blah?
Well, we'll sort of get into it when we talk about the Sparrow, because that kind of comes up in the next one. Because we have Cersei's kind of being down and out, right? But before that, we have Jaime and Tommen. Right.
Oh, and another thing really quick before Jaime and Tommen, she wants to go see Marcella.
Yeah.
In the crypts. Is it the crypts?
No, it's like the septum.
I forget what the septum. Okay. Which is terrible. I feel bad. I actually feel bad for her because she can't go see her daughter. And
but see, this is like a weird scene for her. So it's almost like they're trying to kind of bring her back which I don't like because there's no forgiving everything she's done, but she hasn't done anything crazy or rash or anything, and she even understands. She's almost in this understanding mode.
See, I don't feel that way at all. I think it just fits her character, because her daughter just died. She isn't allowed to go see her own daughter because her son made the order. He wants to protect her, but he's not he's not letting his mother see her own daughter. But then you see that run through her head where it's like, I need to see my daughter, but then it's also the struggle of like, I need to be there for my son now because he's the only one here. So then she walks back upstairs and doesn't start any conflict.
Yeah, exactly. That's my argument, is like she's being way more accepting of her fate right now.
Well, I think like the only reason she's accepting is because of her kids, and I think that's the one thing that drives her. And I feel like once you remove that, you're going to see a whole other Cersei.
Yeah, but you see every time she loses something, right? Let's say just even from Joffrey, she acts super harsh, and she's always emotional every time something is lost of hers. So it's like for her to be like sort of calm and still upset, but not like cutting off heads or plotting or like just being so angry. She just seems to be a lot more accepting of her position right now.
Well, I think we will get back to that. But let's go back to Jaime and Tommen. So right now they're kind of watching Myrcella. They have like a nice kind of... It's funny, they have like a father-son talk, even though it's not really a father-son talk.
Well, this is what I wanted to ask. This is another question for the pro. Does Tommen know?
No.
It's never been conveyed to him. It's not like Myrcella. He hasn't ever admitted to knowing the whole time.
No, he doesn't know. I think Myrcella, the difference of the kids, like Myrcella, I think she understood it, but I think Tommen, he's got a young heart. I think he's kind of ignorant to it. Like he wouldn't even consider that. And
he's supposed to be maybe super younger, probably from the books.
I never look at it like super younger. I just think personally, like his maturity level and like where he is, he wasn't really raised to rule, and I think he just doesn't really see that as a possibility.
Okay.
But yeah, so that they're talking about that, and Tommen obviously has regrets for not being a strong leader. And then I love this because you see like the angry side. I don't think you've ever really seen the angry side of Jaime.
Yeah, but like, I think like just with Tommen, because we're probably gonna leave him. I just think right now he's just the boy king. He's gonna die, and he's just like he's the powder keg that's gonna launch Cersei into madness when he dies.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna turn into anything really significant. No. Which is why he leaves. Yeah. So he leaves to go see his mother, Cersei, and Jaime talks to the Sparrow. I love this. Jaime was like fuming.
Yeah.
He's like, "Go see your mother, Tommen." And then his mom, he went, and then he went, and they had like a nice exchange. I love the Sparrow.
Yeah, he's good. I hate him, but I love him. He's a good. He's a good bad guy, good guy. You don't know, like. Exactly. I don't know where I stand on Jaime now. Right? Because he sort of went all the way one way and then kind of came back. Right?
Well, Jaime, I feel like people say like, oh, he all of a sudden became a really good guy. I don't think he became like a really good guy. I just think it's something he would have done in that situation. He built a relationship with Bran, and he felt like he had to save her. Whereas, he had no connection towards Bran.
Yeah, of course. Because he was just an evil dude. But he is like the Kingslayer, so he has a really bad track record.
No, he does. And what I find, great about the Sparrow, everyone says like, what is his motive? I'm like, he doesn't, like, his motive is the holy text.
Yeah, he's a fanatic.
Like he's a fanatic. He wants to accurately create what the great gods have created in this Bible, or like this book. And that's his only purpose. And Jaime's obviously pissed because, Cersei went through all that, and he's listing off all the sins that he's done.
Thinking that he's alone with him.
Yeah, exactly. He was leaving some out. And then he pulls out the knife. The gods won't mind. They spill more blood in this holy place than... I totally butchered that, but whatever.
Yeah.
But then the only reason he doesn't is because, the sparrows come out.
Yeah, his monks are hiding behind all the pillars.
Yeah, so it's like, I thought about it. I'm like, one of many ways this could have went down. Like, they could have taken him away because he totally confessed to all the shit he's done.
Yeah.
Or some of the shit he's done.
It's true, but I think, like, that's why I said what I said. And it was just, like, it's such a beautifully shot thing. So you have the Sparrow walking in, and literally they do, like, a toe-to-head shot, and he's in, like, they're in, like, the holiest place in the whole kingdom it's supposed to be. And he walks in with, like, a burlap sack. He looks like a bum off the street since we met him. But even when Cersei went to meet him and he's like a bum on the street, he hasn't changed his look at all. And there's the scene with Cersei where her dress is like has like a run in it and it's like falling apart, and it's like a perfect contrast to what's going on with both parties. He's dressed like a bum but has all the power. She's dressed like a queen, regent, I guess, but her clothes and her valor is falling apart all around her. And I really think like it's just like a total flip. The power is flipping, and even Jaime realizes it in this scene when his goons show up from behind the pillars.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I don't think they took Jaime. Jaime's fine. He got out of there.
Yeah. It's just a dick wagging contest.
Yeah, and then Tommen goes and sees Cersei. I really like this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Cersei was like visually really angry with Tommen for not letting her see her own daughter. She couldn't even like look at him, which is like fantastic. She did such a good job acting that scene. Mm-hmm. Like she couldn't even look at him. She was angry with him, but at the same time, you know, she forgives him because, you know, it's her kid, and you know he's made some mistakes, and he was so apologetic, and he said he should have ripped down the whole sept to get her out, and he didn't, and he was like ashamed of himself. But then he asks for help.
Yeah, so this goes back to what I was saying about it. I didn't get the sense that she was so pissed. I feel like she was like she was obviously mad that happened that way, but she wasn't like pissed at the situation where she's plotting like her way or trying to manipulate her way out of it, or like trying to be on top as like the power. No. She just totally accepted it, and like the hug at the end, it like kind of sealed it. It's like I'm accepting it.
I don't think it was manipulation at all. Not with her kids. It was just like she emotionally was upset with her son because she wasn't allowed to see her daughter. Mm-hmm. But then, you know, she realized, you know, like she forgives her child, you know, as she should.
That's what I mean. It's this accepting. She's constantly in scenes now where I feel like she's accepting. Like her daughter shows up dead on the last one, and she doesn't freak out. You don't see her like screaming in agony like you would normally think she would do. She just kind of like is just like, I can't believe this. All this shit is coming true.
No, it's like she would never involve like her kids in like plotting. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing where you see the genuine Cersei.
I feel like she would scorn them, in a sense that like to show that she's the one in power. So in this scene, she was like, I know you're the king. I know you have things. I'm pissed at you for what you did, but I understand your position now. I understand my position now.
Yeah, so then, you know, importantly, he asks for help.
Yeah. Which
kind of shapes, where's Tommen's role going to go forward? Is he still going to be kind of like a cowardly...
Dead.
Is he still going to be kind of a cowardly king, and Cersei's going to take the reins? Is she going to be in total control with what goes on? Kind of like in season 4 and 5, where she kind of takes the reins and Tommen just really doesn't do anything. Cersei just makes the calls.
I really don't think he's going to be anything other than a puppet for them. It's going to be probably Jaime and her and maybe the council that they have left. And they're just like, we got to get rid of the faith justice now.
Yeah, and you see her talking to Jaime, telling him to go in front of his Lannister armies where he belongs.
Yeah.
As a Lannister, you know, so she is taking charge. But then, like some fans, I just don't understand where they come from. They're like, oh, she's obviously grooming Tommen to be the next Joffrey. Like, what? Like, Joffrey was a mad dog.
Yeah, she sort of wanted him dead. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't want him to be in power.
No, Tommen, like, that's not Tommen's character. Tommen's, like, gentle. He's, you know, he may try and, grow a pair, but at the same time, he's still Tommen. He's still, you know, he's still learning.
He's
and you'll
a boy
never
king.
see him.
That's all it comes down to. He's a boy king.
Yeah, and, you know, you'll never see Tommen show cruelty the way Joffrey has.
Definitely.
Like, they're so different.
100% different.
So I think, you're really going to see Tommen kind of take a back seat to his mother, and his mom's going to take charge.
Or just straight up get killed.
And Tommen, and Tommen may, I think he might make a couple of decisions, but he's going to be very...
He's going to make a move to get
gentle.
Marjorie, and I think he's going to get killed.
That was really funny. He's like, but let me see my wife now.
Yeah.
And he's like, she hasn't answered for her crimes yet. And he's like, no,
okay.
Fuck me. Okay, I'll go see Mom. Like, it's pretty funny. But what do you think is going to happen overall with all these characters in King's Landing? Where do you think it's going?
Well, now it's like an internal war. And whatever the outcome, like, I don't think I honestly don't think Tommen's making it out of it in the next couple of episodes.
See, I disagree. I think he's dead, obviously. He's going to be dead, but I think it'll be pushed.
To win, though.
I think the last season.
I think it's going to get real heated with the Faith now after the exchange with Jaime. And they're going to try and make a move to get the Martells out. That's not going to go well. I still think they're both going to die. Or I was thinking about this too, how the Sparrow was talking to Marjorie. And it was almost like he's opening the door for her to be like a follower. Very subtly. Like maybe she becomes a fanatic. I don't think so.
Yeah.
At this point, that's a stretch. But she's either dead or converting. And I'm leaning more to getting killed.
Yeah, like you're on the path. And if anything, Tommen would convert just because of his very
but
pushover
either way,
attitude.
he's not getting his way. And he's going to run into a knife. One way or the other.
But it's like, to me, I'm just deciding, is he getting the armies together for...
No. That's why you see Jaime in the preview, standing on like the horse right at the bottom of the stairs. Because it's time to exterminate these fuckers. And that's why.
Yeah, and they got to get the Martells. They got to get everyone together.
I don't think the older Lannisters, they don't care about the Martells.
Tyrells.
They don't care about them at all.
No, they never... Yeah, it's like a newly formed alliance. But
That's
they're
why
going to go together to defeat the Faith.
Dead. And it leaves the 5 kingdoms, or whatever you want to call it at this point, in total chaos. And it's going to contrast the chaos that's coming towards them.
Yeah. Well, it's like Cersei's been through a lot, but now, hey, she's back at the castle, and the person she wanted to imprison, both of the Tyrells are in prison.
Yeah, but
she's kind of sitting pretty right now.
You don't think she's like totally on eggshells though? She's not regular Cersei. She's not. It's not conveying her as this cold witch of a queen. She's like trying to be motherly now. She's trying to be like, sort of like. She sort of feels like guilty now. It seems like before she was just ice cold.
I disagree. Queen. I think the only reason we're seeing that side of Cersei is because all the stuff we've seen with her is with her children.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I don't think, at this time you shouldn't really see that side of Cersei, because right now it's kind of like, I need to be with my family.
Yeah, but she's even telling like Jaime to go, and she's like, yeah, like I never thought this would happen to us, and everything's coming true with this witch that told me. So I really feel like, I don't know, she's like giving up, and maybe it's one last thing that gets her like screeching.
Okay, but then, so this is a big jump, going from this to Meereen, okay?
Yeah.
Where Tyrion, Varys, Missandei, and Grey Worm are kind of chilling, talking about all the shit that's going on. Astapor and Yunkai have taken back the slaver, so really all they have is Meereen.
Yeah.
So they're kind of discussing what's happening, the harbor that got burned, all that stuff. And by the way, it's really important, because when I see Missandei and Grey Worm, I see them as the leaders of Meereen at the end of this.
Yeah, because those guys, everyone else is going to have to move.
Yeah, everyone's going to leave back home for Westeros, and they're going to be, okay, perfect, we're stationed here. And then that's going to be their kingdom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, so, and they're kind of getting groomed for it, because Grey Worm's been in Unsullied his whole life. But, it's good that Tyrion and Varys are there, because, him and Missandei are both learning on how to, rule a kingdom.
They're like shadowing. Like you just see their eyes kind of going back and forth to what they're talking about.
Yeah, and I loved it. I was laughing so hard. This is my favorite part, the funniest part of the episode to me, because to me it seemed like Tyrion was definitely buzzed.
Yeah,
like he was buzzing. It was so awesome.
It was talking about dragons. Best, man. He was funny. He was clever, cunning. Well, you could call him drunk brave, but he was still brave.
I loved it. He was totally buzzing. He was I loved how he was talking about, he's obviously been reading about dragons as a kid, and he had a fascination with them. And he's like, they're more intelligent than everyone thinks. To me, they always seemed like kind of like a dog. And I feel like that's funny because I feel like that's how Daenerys treated them.
Yeah.
She calls herself the mother of dragons, but really, she kind of treated like she loves them.
Yeah.
But she treated them as a dog.
Putting them in the dungeon and all that stuff.
Yeah, and just the way she treated them in general. She didn't really, talk and communicate and have, and treat them like a human or, have a certain kind of relationship with it.
They remained as gifts to her, not as family.
But, I want to convey, she's still, it's literally a dog relationship. I love my dog. I talk to my dog sometimes, but I'm not going to have a full-blown conversation with it.
Yeah.
And then Tyrion comes in and says, they're more intelligent than you'd think, whatever. And he's like, I'm going to be friends with the dragons.
That's what I mean. By him showing that bravery and showing that love to them, they'll remember him, more and more as they go back.
Yeah, so he goes down there with Varys, and I was laughing so hard because Varys is just disgust. He's, scared shitless. He's just, disgust. Why are you doing this? And then Tyrion walks down, and you look back at Varys. He's just standing there staring. And then you start seeing their eyes, and then they start coming. And then it's a psych out. He's going to, flame him up, and then he stops.
Yeah.
There could be a lot to that. Tyrion, obviously, he's not intimidating.
Well, see, I maybe took this a little bit too far in overthinking this scene, and it's not as good as the Sparrow Cersei thing, but maybe I was thinking a little bit more about this scene. So people are gonna take it as a cool Tyrion scene because he goes down and sees a dragon. It's funny, but it was showing something a little bit more bold in his leadership to take the risks and kind of lead this situation. None of those people in the room were talking about any solutions, right?
He took the risk.
And you said Varys was literally hiding, but I was Varys is always there, right? Even in the fucking dungeon. I know he didn't go down the stairs, but he was there. And there's even a shot where it shows him sort of over his shoulders, and it was conveyed as humorous, but I think it's almost like a double entendre, if you will, because it means it's almost his conscious, in cartoons where you have the angel and the demon are on your either side telling you what to do, and he wasn't saying I don't know what you're doing. He was just there for him, even though he was scared out of his mind.
Yeah, and I think I love comparing him and Daenerys, the way they handle the dragons, and I feel like that's why it worked out so well because Dany, she's shown fear.
Yeah,
she gets scared with the dragons. One time she went to go touch Drogon, and he went and kind of roared at her, and she kind of backed off. Okay, and she just didn't want to handle them. She handles them like dogs. She's kind of scared of them.
Yeah.
But then Tyrion just walks in and tells him a story, and I love the story. It was great. He talked about how when he was a boy for his name day, he asked for a dragon, and all he wanted was a dragon. He didn't care how big or how small it was. All he wanted was a dragon, and he heard they never existed.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and here you are, here's my dragon. And I think that's what's great about it.
Yeah.
It is his dragon, and he just comes in and forms this bond with it, and he's talking to it. He doesn't treat it like an animal.
Mm-hmm. No, he treats it as a precious member, if it was his, or if he's calling it his, his family.
Yeah, and I think he treated it so much different than Daenerys, and he treats them so much differently, and I think he can teach her a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Tyrion is really going to form a bond with these dragons, and it's just because, I don't know, he just strategically knew how. And then it's also, do you think that they were so, they attached to Tyrion because of the way he approached the situation? Is it because they're intelligent and they realize that he can help them? Or is it because maybe they sense his blood?
Mm-hmm.
And that not only is he a Lannister, he's a Targaryen?
I don't know. It will remain to be seen.
Because it's almost like he solved the riddle. He knew how to approach them. He knew how to interact with them.
Yeah.
And then it just happened so easily. So it's I feel like there's so many different factors at play there. And you see their intelligence. When he unchains one of them, the other one kind of turns his head and says, all right, now get mine.
Yeah.
So they are really smart animals, and I think, or whatever they are, I don't know what the fuck they are, and it was, and I think it was just fascinating to see.
Yeah.
But that being said, what do you think is going to happen now that these dragons are free in the cells, what do you think happens with Meereen? Because he's like, next time I want to go see a dragon, Varys, punch me in the face.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got to do like a training regiment with them. So the whole thing was that they weren't eating. So he kind of went down there to build trust. I thought he was going to go down there to try and get them to eat, but he didn't. He just released them. Yeah. So it seems like the next time he's going to go and he's going to try and get them to eat and try and maybe get them to go out and stretch their wings. Because all I think they need to do is get those dragons flying around to show dominance over the area, right?
Yeah, no, I think halfway through he definitely got cold feet, and I think it's going to be either you get a really serious harpy encounter, which forces him to really ramp this up, or he takes it upon himself saying, wow, I didn't get burned by fire. I should go back down there.
Yeah.
And take it upon himself to start training them and teaching them and kind of building this relationship with them. I just found it overall interesting on how he said, this whole dragon I wanted my whole life, I now have.
Yeah.
Which means he's taking ownership of one of the dragons.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
No, it was a really good scene.
But moving on to Braavos, Arya is getting very short bursts.
Yeah. I swear I God, I called this scene on the last one.
Yeah, her story's going in very short bursts, and I think it's going to be the same next episode. We're getting introduced to little short revelations. This one, the scene is pretty similar. She gets beaten the hell up by Wave, but then all of a sudden Jaqen shows up, which kind of goes to what we were saying before. Like, Jaqen is the Wave.
Or we don't know. They never see them together in the scene yet.
Yeah, I think he's just wearing her face. Like, I think we've seen them swap faces so fast and so easily.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. And it's kind of like a good cop, bad cop thing, Arya hates her so much.
Yeah.
But then as soon as Jaqen comes, it's like, he's my friend. He wants to help me. She wants to impress him.
Yeah. Well, she wants to murder the other girl.
Yeah, she hates the other girl, which I think is good, because Jaqen is using the girl to beat the hell out of her and teach her a lesson. Mm-hmm. But then Jaqen kind of comes in and doesn't teach her the physical stuff, but kind of
makes sure her loyalties are still with him.
Yeah, kind of like the mind testing.
Yeah.
And they're just building that relationship. So then, Jaqen keeps asking her, like, if she gives her name, a man will give her a place to stay. Whatever. And she keeps saying, I'm no one, I'm no one, I'm no one.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because I took that both ways. She could keep saying she's no one, which shows her want to be a faceless person.
Yeah.
But I've also thought, like, what if she just, like, she doesn't say she's Arya Stark? Since she's faceless, she just comes up with her own identity.
No, because she's supposed to be nobody and everybody by the way that he frames the question. Right?
Okay.
Nobody, so she can be anybody. And, like, it's the same. I just thought that this was another example of how fast this episode was going, because I really thought it was going to be another time while she passed his test, but she was left out on the street again. But instead, he kind of brought her away, saying, yeah, he won. Let's go.
Yeah, because she kind of proved herself.
Yeah, but I thought it was like she proved herself, but she still has to sit on the thing for one more lesson at least.
No, yeah, so then he says, follow me. They're going to the house in black and white, I think. Like, I don't even think that's, like, speculation. I think that's happening.
No, we see it the next time on. Or somewhere where they're training again, so.
Right, and then just overall, do you have any thoughts of this? Do you think that she's committing to be a faceless person, or do you think she's still Arya Stark in her core?
No, she's going to be always half. She has her list. She's chanted it like a mantra. She's out for blood for those people still. Yeah. And she wants to help her thing, but she knows she needs the training, and she knows she fucked up. So she's got to do what she's got to do to get this training.
No, yeah, I agree. Like, I think there's people who think that, she is going to commit to being a faceless. I don't think at all. I think she respects them, but I think at the same time she's like, the only way for me to get help and not be blind and not be on the streets right now is to say that I'm no one.
But you think, like, full commitment is she has to live in that house and do the body stuff and, like, that's it?
No, full commitment is sacrificing Arya Stark, which I don't think she'll ever do.
But you never know, though, because she might be if she's Arya Stark, she's the princess of the North.
Yep.
If she's a faceless woman or man, whatever you want, she can be anybody. So you never know. She might give it up so she can be that. Because that was her whole thing. She was always pissed. Like, why can't I fight? Why can't I be like the boys? Why can't I be like this? So this might actually suit her character.
Yeah, I think she'll be like...
But I don't think she'll be like a cult member. You know what I mean? I think she would still be involved in other things, but I don't think she would want to take on the Banner style stuff.
No, I see her like an entrepreneur. Being like
she's going to be out murdering for hire.
Yeah, being like, fuck you guys. I don't want to have to get rid of my name. I don't want to have to do this. I'm going to take Needle and take my belongings that I love and keep them with me. But obviously she's not going to say she's Arya Stark, which is in the middle of an assassination mission.
She's just going to be a dope rogue. Like, she's just going to be awesome fighter, but, like, do you think she's going to be ending up in the final battle against the others?
I have no idea. I think...
It seems so hard to think about.
It's like she should see it as an opportunity. She's like, oh, okay, now I can kill all these people that I want. But, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think she will be there. Because she needs to meet up with the Red Witch.
Yeah. But see, I think for me, everyone's coming south from up north. So there's gonna be. I don't think they're going to the Wall. I think they're gonna meet King's Landing. Is where like the biggest battle with the Walkers is gonna be.
Right.
Because it's gonna be like it's. I don't know how far south. We should always have a map. So I always feel kind of geographically. Uninformed when it comes to this.
I think everybody does too.
No, I've seen the maps. Everyone's looked at the maps, but I don't quite know where King's Landing is in relation to that whole continent. I know it's kind of south, but I don't know if it's dead south, right? But it just seems like
I think it's southeast, more south than east.
And then we have Old Town, right? So we have to see some sort of scene with Sam and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, Sam. I'm surprised Sam hasn't come up yet, but I think he'll be back either 3 or 4. I'm not sure. Anyways, let's go to Winterfell.
Yeah.
So we see Lord Karstark, Ramsay, and Roose Bolton. So we saw his father, Lord Karstark, who was beheaded by Robb Stark, who didn't listen to Catelyn's advice to just jail him and keep him alive because they'll lose the Karstarks. And yep, they lost the Karstarks, and now they're working for the Boltons.
Yeah.
Or they're supporting the Boltons. So it was interesting because it totally caught me off guard. I knew Roose Bolton was going to die. I just didn't know it would be this soon.
Yeah, again, this episode was flying.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. Like, so much stuff happened, but like every scene, it was so emotionally charged.
Yeah.
Like, so Ramsay has the idea of storming Castle Black and killing Jon Snow. This is because, he is by blood a Stark. So they're like, I'm a bastard, but you legitimized me. Jon Snow is a threat, and he's probably going to hold Sansa. So they're like, all right, so we have the Umbers, the Mandarkeys, or Manderlys, the Manderlys?
I can't remember those. Small
Manderlys and the Umbers.
Bannermen.
Which I'm surprised they have the Umbers. But he's like, these are the 3 strongest bannermen we have. If we storm Castle Black, we're set. We can kill Jon easy. And then Roose Bolton's like, if you want to be a mad dog, you be treated like a mad dog, whatever. And then immediately after, the Maester comes in, and then he starts giggling, saying that, you've had a boy.
Yeah.
And then I love how it immediately changed, where Ramsay is kind of hugging Roose, and they have a father-son moment, and then Roose is like, you'll always be my firstborn. And then, boom, stabbed. Yeah. Very reminiscent of how Roose stabbed Robb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he finally got what was coming to him. But it's like, I knew this was happening, I just didn't think it was happening episode 2. You know what I mean? You knew that was going to be you knew he was going to be having a boy. And you knew what was going to happen next, even. It's just like, I couldn't believe it happened this episode. Like, so much was going on in this episode.
No, it was crazy. And then you see, Ramsay must have been doing some backdoor dealing, because Lord Karstark was definitely on Ramsay's side.
Oh, yeah. He didn't even flinch. He knew it was coming, too.
Definitely knew it was coming. They planned it out. And then even the Maester's like, he said to the Maester, he's like, tell him, say Lord. He's your Lord, whatever. Like, respect your Lord.
Yeah.
So that happened. And then they went to go get Walda and the child.
Yeah.
A lot of meat for the dog. There's a really tense moment where he's like, let me hold the baby.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
I was literally cringing. I, like, covered my eyes because I thought he would throw the baby in the fire.
I thought he was just going to clink it off the rocks like the giant did earlier.
Like a fish.
Yeah.
No, like, crazy. So that he brought Lady Walda and the child into the doghouse.
Mm-hmm.
And he set the dogs on them. But this annoys me about the internet. So naturally now everyone's like, controversy. Pisses me off.
They were like, sounds awful, but they did this scene tastefully.
They did it tastefully.
They didn't show it. Like,
yeah, they didn't show it. And I think, killing a newborn baby, come on. That's kind of a little bit too far. But no, I mean showing it. I think killing the baby was 100% necessary.
Yeah, it's part of the story. They're not going to bend it. Like,
yeah, you're not going to see me complaining. But what I find funny is that there's some people on the internet who are like, they literally say, I feel like they're beating me over the head with Ramsay being a bad person. They didn't have to do this to show me that.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. So
how does that make any sense?
Ramsay is just literally the monster that Jon has
but it's
to
like,
defeat.
seriously, spare the baby? You have to kill the baby. He's the next Bolton in line for the frickin' Winterfell.
Yeah, exactly.
He had to kill both of them.
No,
like,
you have to. It's like the weight. I always say weight. There had to be weight to why we hate Ramsay. I know we already hate him for everything else he's done, but they had to show that, like, maybe this is another thinking about it too much, but he's a cold monster.
Yeah,
right?
And it's consistency. It's in his character he would do that. And second of all, he has to do it. He killed his father. He wants to rule the North. He can't rule the North if his baby brother's in the way.
Exactly.
And so it had to be done. And it just annoys me how people are all like, controversy. Same thing with Shireen. Like, sure, they burned Shireen. I don't think anything's, like, should be controversial about it. Like, it's entertainment, and it was in...
That sounds awful.
Okay, let me retract. It was a necessary step. They didn't do it pointlessly. It had an effect in the story.
Yeah, it was showing how desperate he was.
Yeah, it showed his desperation.
And that's what I said. Ramsay's supposed to be a cold-hearted monster to show, like, that that's just the first cold-hearted monster he's gonna kill, with cold-hearted monsters on his like heels. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Ramsay's just another pretty much. He's just the monster that needs to be eliminated now.
Yeah, true. All right, so let's go down to Sansa, Brienne, Podrick, and Theon. Sansa, like, I'm really liking Sansa.
It's so funny how we're so opposite on this.
I'm really liking Sansa. I don't know why.
It's so funny. We're so, like, I didn't even do anything for this.
Sansa and Davos. Like, Davos is really, like, I like Davos, but he wasn't a character that I was like, he was with Stannis, and I feel like for me to really like a character, they have to also be kind of with a character that I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I never loved
like
Stannis.
The voice of reason for Stannis, though.
Yeah, exactly. But just because he's with Stannis, I never really paid him any attention.
Yeah.
But with Sansa, like, she's really, like, I love Sansa, man. She's growing up. A really touching scene. She's talking about Arya. She knows about Arya. She knows that Arya's alive now. Surprising, Brienne never said that she was with the Hound, which kind of surprised me.
I don't think that was ever a big point to her, though. Because even Podrick was the one that had to tell her that was the Hound when they met. But, like, for me, I'll just get out of your way, because I know you're liking this story arc. For me, this was just another nail in the coffin for this story arc. They literally didn't move from where they were. So that tells me, like, it's not amounting to anything. And in the episode that was on 11, they literally didn't move an inch from where they were in episode 1. So for me, it's like, where are they going with this?
Okay, see, I like it, okay? So,
and then what happens in the end, it's even more like, okay, why do we need her here?
Stop it, okay? Stop it. So Theon was talking to Sansa, and I felt, man, heart breaks for Theon, man. He's like,
Never. Good.
I need to get. I think I should go home. I actually got seriously emotional. I was watching it with you. I actually had to turn my face because I actually had, like, tears forming.
Why?
It's emotion. I don't know. It just got to me.
Theon's
Same with
a dick.
both Sansa episodes had me in tears.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh man.
But he's like, I'm even getting teary-eyed now. If you could see my eyes are watering up. He's like, I would have taken you to the wall alone. Like, I would have died for you. I would have taken you to the wall. But he's like, now you're with Brienne or whatever, and I know that you're safe. And he's like, but I don't belong there. He doesn't want forgiveness. He just wants to move on or whatever. So he wants to go home, which is the name of the episode. Which is to the Iron Islands, but man, this scene just destroyed me. And then Sansa,
my God.
and then Sansa gets like all upset, and then they hug, and I was just like, oh my God, man, this is so nice. I love these scenes.
If there's anyone that's out there that's in the Trevor camp, if that's such a thing, you'll be laughing when you see this scene if you haven't seen it already.
Oh, I loved it, man. But then, okay, I just want to touch on a simple thing. There are fans who think that Theon is gonna go and kill Ramsay for vengeance. No way in hell.
Honestly, I had a moment where I was like, oh, that's the end of him. That's the end of Theon. They're writing him out.
People think that he's going to go back to Winterfell and kill Ramsay.
No.
What the fuck? No way. He doesn't want to go near Ramsay. Like, he's just going to go straight to the Iron Islands. And you're going to see him meet up with Yara and Euron and all them.
I think he's just getting an axe to the chest as soon as he sets foot on the thing.
Stop it.
As he should.
But then we go to the Iron Islands. We finally see Yara and Balon Greyjoy again.
Yeah.
Balon actually made me laugh so hard because Yara's like, we can't continue to hold lands. And he's like, they're not obeying my orders. Like, he's just totally deflecting everything. Like,
the only thing he's got going on for him is that dope fireplace.
Yeah, and he's like, you're losing your kingdom. He's like, blah, I'll make another heir. Like, fuck you. And he, like, leaves.
Yeah.
And then, they meet on a bridge.
Like,
and,
the craziest bridge ever.
Like a rickety old bridge.
Like, you would think a king would have said, you know what, guys, let's put a, like, serious bridge in here. Like, he's an old man, and they even show that. Like, he can barely hang on to it. Nobody helps him.
No, it's like a test, yeah.
Walking
it's
across this, like, Indiana Jones-style bridge.
I feel like that's, like, their culture, to be honest. Like, it's like, if you can't make it past the bridge, then you're not fit to rule.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Which we find out later.
So it's like, you see, I really like this too because Euron's just standing there as the winds are going, and he's just standing there totally cool, and Balon's like losing his shit, like trying to hold on to the ropes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it's been a while, brother. Obviously they have like hate towards each other. And he's like, I'm the storm. Boom. And then Balon tries to stab him. Didn't work out. Euron throws him over. And that's that. So then quickly we get them pushing off Balon. I just couldn't stop thinking during this scene, his body getting caught on like a rock as it was like floating away, and it just be like this awkward moment.
Yeah.
But so there's the King's Moot. Both of us haven't read the books. What the hell is that?
Honestly, I do sort of a downer. This was my least favorite part of the whole episode.
I still liked it though.
For me, I don't even know what the Greyjoys are important for anymore. Like, I don't know who even they're, like, sided with. Like, I don't know how there's any making amends. If they're in it for themselves, they're going to die so easily.
They're important for Theon.
He's dead. He's going to get an axe to his chest.
No, he's not dead. He's going back there. And I think they're important because they're going to have connections with Daenerys. She had her fleet... Hey, she had her fleet, her whole harbor, burned. You know who's coming with boats? Greyjoys, Iron Islands.
Unless somehow Theon is the guy that wins this Tri-Wizarding tournament to prove he's like an actual man, and then he's the one that feels so guilty to then help out the Stark's cause. I really don't see there's any salvaging this Greyjoy thread. I don't get it. Like, I don't care about these guys.
The Stark's cause isn't Daenerys.
They're a weak house. They haven't really done anything other than mess things up and retreat once they tried to fix it. They got Theon captured. Like, it's just like, I don't care about these guys anymore. I really don't. So hopefully they got swallowed by the others.
Trevor's cruel in this one. No,
yeah, I could care less.
I think Yara will try and rule through Theon. It'll be a secret that he doesn't have a dick because he can't produce an heir, but that'll be kind of a secret. But I think their story is important because Yara's going to try and go and make a relationship with Daenerys and give them ships, and I think that's why they're so important.
Yeah.
But that's that. Your least favorite part of the episode.
Yeah.
It was my least favorite part, but I still liked it. Like, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
It's a part of it, but I feel like here's another thing. So Euron is his name?
Yes.
Did we have any knowledge of him before, unless like you're a super fan book reader?
No.
So why are they introducing this guy now? If we both are of the mind that it's either going to be Yara or it's somehow going to be Theon, which just doesn't make sense in my mind, but whatever.
So it's like, why introduce any character then? I feel like you should still introduce characters.
Why is he like now an existential threat to this small storyline over here? Like if he's coming in to overthrow Yara, just like get it over with.
He wants to rule the Iron Islands. And then just really quick, like everyone's like, oh, he's going to be the bad guy in the situation. The last thing they need is another mad dog. He needs to be a guy who did murder for his position, but he needs to be a stable guy. He needs to be a guy who's a good ruler and knows what he's doing. And I think he should he should be a good character. He shouldn't be a bad guy. He should be a good character.
But he came in like a wrestler, saying like he's the storm and stuff like that. So that's why I mean like he's very antagonizing. When Balin was a dick, but he's like he didn't have to kill him.
I know, but think about it. Balin was a dick. He's a shitty ruler right now. He's kind of lost everything. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's not doing the best for his people. Yara said it herself. They're the best at the seas. But right now he's trying to take over lands. And I feel like Euron's like, okay, this is the revolution to put the Iron Islands back on track.
I think Euron has his own intentions for the Iron Islands. I think he's going to win this whatever moot, King's Moot, rule them. Yara's going to be exiled. That's why she goes sailing south.
Interesting. I like that too. We'll see. But let's go to the wall. I like this one a lot. So, Davos and Melisandre. Davos goes and sees Melisandre. He still hasn't given up on Jon.
Yeah.
And he goes to talk to her. You see her. She's really cloaked. Totally lost all faith. You can tell that because she's cold. She's wearing heavy cloaks, whatever.
Yeah.
She's looking into the flames, but she's just kind of looking at it with a blankness. She has no idea why the hell Davos is there to see her.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of imagery of her just totally, like, done.
Yeah.
Giving up all faith. But then Davos kind of gives her, a speech, Yeah. I want to see miracles.
Does some hype up.
Yeah, hype. And then she's like, fuck, fine. And then she goes, cleans up the body, cuts his hair. I'm very surprised with how, like, it's obvious, like, Melisandre was gonna resurrect him.
Yeah.
It seemed like that would have made sense. But then there are other ways that he could have been resurrected. But they did set it up for Melisandre to resurrect him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
How did you like the resurrection?
I liked it. But I think, so God bless the internet. I don't even know if you saw, but I haven't even read the full script. But people have already translated what she said.
Yeah.
Right? So I haven't read it that much into it. So maybe there's something there, but I feel like they would say it. I think it all comes down to her saying please at the end.
That dude, totally agree. Thoros and Mir, when he says, he's like, I just asked, and he was like, he was my best friend. And there's a desperation there when Thoros brought back Beric Dondarrion.
Yeah, he was kind of giving up too. And he was like, I don't have any power. Like, I'm just some lowly hobo.
The fact that, there's parallels between both of them. Both of them were on ground zero.
Yeah.
They made that very clear. Melisandre had no faith. And they made that blatantly clear. And Thoros, same thing with his story. He's like, I was a drunk. I didn't believe in the Red God. And just out of respect for my friend, I uttered the only words I knew. And then that ended up bringing him back.
Yeah.
So it's that desperation.
Yeah, he just said, I asked, right? Like, that's it. So that's why he's here. There's just a couple things. It could have been all that mumbo-jumbo before. But it seems more like it's going to be the pleas that she said in sort of a desperate, like, this is my last hope, right? This is my last faith-breaking hope, whether I believe in you or not. And, like, I thought I did up until this point, so just please show me that I didn't waste my time. And then obviously we know what happens next, but I don't know. Like, there's so much stuff to it. Like, his blood, they really showed her, like, cleaning him up and then using that. And there's obviously correlations to why he is so important and what his blood means for this whole thing.
Yeah, and then this doesn't relate. You didn't see this with Thoros and Beric Dondarrion, but only death can pay for life.
Yeah.
So what death paid for Jon Snow's life.
Well, couldn't it just mean that he had to die in order to come back?
But you could say that for everything.
Because Beric Dondarrion's just like, he died, but nobody else died.
Yeah, but it's
right?
like
he just brought him back, and he's.
I don't know, but it's one of those things. It's like to support life, there needs to also be a death. So it's like I don't know if they're gonna talk about this in the next episode, where Shireen sacrifice might have had a part to play.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Melisandre isn't gonna drop dead. She didn't sacrifice herself to save Jon.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Maybe I was gonna call her Millie. Maybe Melisandre dies a little bit later when they're moving south. They go by where we know they're going eventually, and Davos sees the pyre. Because I feel like we saw that in the preview, right?
No, we'll definitely talk about that. But yeah, Melisandre's not going to die because there's still a prophecy. She said that she's going to see Arya as a kind of a faceless person, blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes, whatever.
Yeah.
And she hasn't seen Arya yet. And I think when she sees Arya, both are on the chopping block. But until then, they're both good.
Mm-hmm.
But then, oh no, not even Ghost.
Yeah, they did a really cool shot with Ghost.
So everyone leaves.
And I was thinking about this scene again too. Do you almost think like all that mumbo jumbo stuff like put Ghost to sleep? Like he was almost in like a hypnotic state?
I think it just shows a connection between Ghost and Jon.
Because she was a Red Priestess. And this is another Ask the Pro, because I've only ever seen this episode once. Way back when that really shitty witch tries to bring back Khal Drogo. Does she say that she was a witch, or that she studied as a witch?
I think she was what kind of witch was she? Fuck, I don't remember.
But either way, there's like that she sacrificed his horse, right? But like the animal was present and all this stuff. That was like there was like a lot of that kind of dark magic there.
It was more dark magic than this for sure.
And I feel like you see something sort of subtly in the eyes of Ghost.
See, I don't know about that. I think it could have been just the lighting. But then you see, so Davos is the last to leave, and then you see Ghost, close up on Ghost. He's sleeping, which is why I was chill the whole time. Like, if Ghost isn't freaking out, because he has a connection with Jon, so just his ease and his relaxed state kind of shows where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you saw him the Ghost kind of wake up and look over at Jon, I thought of a couple things. First, I thought of warging.
Yeah.
But that didn't end up happening.
I don't know. I think maybe we're overthinking it. It's just like dogs kind of sense things before anyone else. And the dog woke up before he took his breath, so he just knew, like, oh, life came back to him. And he was like, what the hell?
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like Ghost is like the extension of Jon. Like, he's just kind of showing what's going on.
Yeah.
And just the fact that he wasn't going nuts kind of proves that, you know, he was in touch with what was going on. And then Jon, you know, he wakes up.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to wake up a changed man?
No. Only intentions. Like,
Yeah,
I only think, like, his goals are now changed, which I guess we'll get into sort of on the episode.
Well, I'm talking about
as predictions.
I'm talking about as a person.
No, like, do you think he's going to be, like, some soulless dude? No. Not at all.
I think he's going to be...
Beric Dondarrion wasn't changed. Yeah. He's just like, another scar on my chest.
Well, it's like, no, but Grant, like, we didn't spend 5 seasons with Beric Dondarrion.
I know, but it's like, he says it so like, you change a little bit.
I know. Okay.
Like, I think he would have learned a lesson or something like that. Like maybe he's a little bit more... I don't think he's going to be some hardcore, cold-blooded killing machine. I just think it's now like his intentions are now, okay, the wall kind of is not the biggest deal right now. I am the person that has to tell everybody, Paul Revere style, gonna have to tell everybody what's coming, and that's it. I really don't think it's gonna be a character change at all.
First of all, just because it's a show, I feel like they won't really change Jon, whereas the books may be different, and I think mainly just because of mediums.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think George R. R. Martin made it very clear that when you die and you come back, it's very, like, haunting in a sense.
Yeah, maybe he'll be torn by something, but I don't think he's going to be a different Jon, if you catch my drift. He's not going
Maybe
to be like
yeah.
cowardly. He's not going to be evil.
No.
He's not going to be anything like that.
If anything, I think he'll kind of grow a pair.
Well, no, he's always seems like the perfect king, right?
No, yeah,
he
always
deals
tough.
with situations with the wildlings. He negotiates things that are maybe uneasy for everybody else. I don't see that changing. That's the whole reason why he was important enough to be resurrected.
No, sorry, yeah, I totally take that back. But it's like, think of his blood too. He's from the first men, the Starks, and from Targaryen.
Yeah.
Who's to say that maybe his blood is unaffected by this? Like, Targaryens are immune to certain diseases. So
yeah,
who's to say that?
I think he's the Harry Potter of this story.
No, 100%. And who's to say that his blood just doesn't affect him when he wakes up?
Yeah,
because his blood is so pure and so old and like filled with old first men magic and Targaryen. Like, he is the best blood of anyone on the show.
his blood is the story. It's the song of the ice and fire. Like that's he's the guy. Now that we know he's up and nobody's debating it, we know he's the guy, and that's why he was resurrected.
So do you have anything else to say about Jon Snow's resurrection?
No, it's like we were both wrong. You thought it was going to be later. I thought it was going to be right away. Right sort of in the middle of where we thought each other would wake up.
It was funny, too, because I thought it would be episode 1 first.
Yeah.
You thought it would be later, and then we kind of switched. I thought episode 3 was a good number.
I was hoping it was going to be a little bit later, and then I came to grips that it was going to be a lot earlier on. And this episode, I can't stress enough how unbelievably layered this episode is.
This episode, yeah.
We were talking about Tyrion. That honestly felt, after I watched that episode, that I watched it 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, I have no complaints. The episode
it was amazing.
Done amazingly. Everything was good. Like, it was really funny when you think about it too. Like, I took a quick look at Rotten Tomatoes. Just the overall consensus was that it was a slower episode in quotes.
What?
It still got a good review, but I find it funny how, we were so into this episode. But think about it, dude. There was no action, which you don't need it.
Oh man, see, in my opinion, that's what's wrong with the critics. Because I feel like maybe that is the consensus. That is maybe the consensus. Like, everybody needs action. I would say this is one of the best episodes of the whole series.
No, yeah.
Excluding like those crazy epics, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows those.
Even
episodes.
the epics, man. Like this episode is great.
It's
and
just even if they didn't have Jon wake up in this episode, and just like maybe had just Ghost kind of stir at the end and not show Jon wake up, it still would have been an amazing episode.
I thought that's what they were gonna do too, but yeah. So we both knew that Jon would wake up at the end, like that he would end an episode of him breathing.
Yeah, opening his eyes and stuff.
That was like an obvious thing. But yeah, just overall, this episode was like freaking unbelievable. Like 10 out of 10. Like, and I just love it how this episode was really character moments and just kind of revelations. Yeah. And it's like one of the best episodes. But that being said, episode 3 is called Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen? Mention every character, and then I'm trying to apply Oathbreaker to every character. What oath would every character have to break? Or I think there will be some characters who break some kind of oath.
You got Jaime. He's Kingsguard. He's going to have to break some oaths. He's gonna have to break a lot of oaths.
A ton, I'm sure.
Right? Like,
yeah,
he's not new to breaking oaths.
Same with Jon Snow, man. He broke the oath of death.
I really just think I think it will be a Jon Snow heavy episode next time. You're gonna see a lot of stuff, but I think it's gonna be like a Jon Snow episode, basically. Big speech for the Night's Watch. After like a debriefing with Davos and Melisandre, like, oh my God, you're awake, right? There's gonna be an excuse for him to be pardoned. They're gonna be like, "Well, Jon, you technically did die." Like,
see, I think Jon's gonna take charge in this situation.
Right? He's gonna make Ed the Lord and Commander. That's to me 100%. The kid's gonna get forgiven. Maybe Alistair gets executed in this episode, right? And there's going to be the reason for them to move south. They're going to maybe get word that Sansa escaped, or some threat from Winterfell, or something that tells them of the impending doom from the south now. Arya's gonna train more. I really dug your thing with the warging thing. That's a long shot because, like I said about the magic, right?
I think it's just I don't think it's like they want to cut magic from the show. I think it's that they want to make it more powerful. The reason they don't want Arya or like they don't have any of the other Starks warg so far is because they want Bran to be more significant and more important.
I think now that's why it got a bad rating. We haven't seen Bran for a full season and an episode. You know what I mean?
I think it was justified why they did that though.
No, I know. I agree. It's good, but everyone kind of like anyone that casually watches this show, I feel like they don't even understand the magic. They're in it for what you think they're in it for, the sex and the violence and the deceit
I totally
and
disagree.
all that stuff. So bringing this in with the magic, I really think that's maybe why they gave them a slant.
No, man,
and
you're giving everyone a bad rap. I just want to apologize to everybody. No, because Trev, you have one coworker who's like that.
No, it's the whole group now. The whole group is like that, and they all talk like that. Like, oh, like when's the next like action scene? And like, I'm casual people that are listening to this podcast or listening to stuff on YouTube beyond just watching the show and talking about it with like their water cooler moments are much more into what it's about. They're looking at maps. They're looking at the book comparisons. So I'm not trying to exploit our people. I really just think like when you have like these New York Times style people, they're like, well, where was all this magic before? Like, it's just like, come on, guys. This is a fantasy novel that deals with dragons and crazy magic. So for me, the more magic, the merrier. And that's my opinion about it. But I feel like when you told me about Rotten Tomatoes, I can't stand every time I hear Rotten Tomatoes. I can't stand ratings. Because if you like the show, you like everything about it. You might have little things that you kind of don't like because there's maybe inconsistencies in your opinions, but fuck, I hate that.
Well, there's a rant. Anyways, you want to keep continuing the episode summary?
Yeah. Arya, ninja training, impresses Jaqen and her abilities.
You say things so funny.
They keep moving up. House Umber has a gift for Ramsay, right?
I want to hear your thoughts on this.
This is so you and me probably agree. It's probably gonna be Rickon, right?
Yes.
Or
information.
Not information. Might be Theon.
Long
shot.
Theon.
This is my long shot theory. Sam.
Oh my.
Right?
No, it's not Sam.
How do you know though? Does he know how? That's what I said. It's a long shot.
How is Sam like what? Who's Sam with Ramsay?
Exactly, he doesn't know. But Sam is now a guy that's heading south from the wall. He wants information on the wall. So
that's
again,
weak.
Long shot. Tower of Joy. I don't even need to say anything. That's gonna be probably one of my favorite episodes.
Perfect. All right, now I guess I'll do my summary. All right, so I'll like kind of look over the preview. Feel free to chime in. And then I'll just kind of go.
I'm pissed about Rotten Tomatoes. Don't ever tell me Rotten Tomatoes again. I hate shit like that.
Okay, I won't mention it anymore. Anyways, still got a good rating. Anyways,
fuck him.
So we see Jon kind of arise. Okay. I think it's not. You said it's going to be a Jon centric. I don't. I think the way they've been shooting these are actually quite different. They're more like we're in King's Landing for 10 minutes. Every character in King's Landing. We're going to the north now. Showing Sansa, Ramsay, like it's like that now, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas before I felt like it was shot kind of like, here's one character, we go across the world to another character, and then back to another character. Like it was more jumbled.
Yeah.
Whereas this one I feel like it's more like segmented and more organized. Mm-hmm. I like both ways. But yeah, I think Jon will be like maybe 5 to 10 minutes of screen time. But I think it'll be like, he'll wake up. It'll be kind of like a what the hell. Somebody will find him just like running nude around Castle Black, and they'll soup him up. As Tormund was saying, he's obviously looks like a god. I wonder if he'll have any memory loss. But anyways, I think he'll go down and see Alistair, and I think he'll be hard with Alistair. I think he'll say, you betrayed your Lord Commander. I think he'll say, you can live in your old world, or you can you can die in your old world or live in the new one. Pretty much him saying, like, you need to be supporting me. And, like, Alistair, I don't think he'll budge. But it's like, you need to be eyes on the wall and do your job and defend us from the White Walkers, not from the wildlings. Blah, blah, blah. Ollie will be forgiven, but I don't know if Ollie's gonna, like, he's still gonna be very bitter. But I feel like they're just gonna brush him off. They're not, like, they're either gonna stay at the wall or die. I think Ollie's gonna live.
I think everyone at the wall's dead. That's why.
It's just kind of a toss-up. I don't think they're gonna kill the Night's Watch. I think it's gonna be, they weren't, like, true, like, only some of them out of that whole batch were true supporters. Like, if Jon comes back, they were kind of, I think some of them will come back and support
I'm not
Jon.
saying Jon's gonna kill the Night's Watch. I'm saying the Night Watch is done. At the last episode of this season is, in my mind, the wall coming down, literally. It'll be the last little fight that they hope for, but that wall's coming down and everyone's dead. Ollie, if he's still alive, is getting his head crushed or frozen or whatever you want. But he's going dead. He's going dead. He's going down.
But
like
I think,
everybody else there.
I think Jon is pretty much shock. Everyone's in shock, and it's kind of debrief.
Yeah.
He's kind of coming in touch with everything, whatever. I'm just going to quickly run over to Ramsay. So he got a gift.
Who do you think it is?
From the Umbers, which shocked me. I thought the Umbers would be on the Stark side. But for some reason, they're on the Bolton, so I don't know what's going on. They may switch allegiances, but...
Maybe they don't realize what's happening, though. Because maybe the Umbers were only on their side because Sansa married. Maybe they don't know Sansa's on the lam.
Yeah, who knows?
And maybe the Umbers got Rickon. Yeah. And they don't know what they're doing, but they're like, oh, we have Rickon back.
Dude, it might be like, we have a gift for you. A well-raised, strong, young Rickon who can now lead the North.
Yeah, he can rally the Bannermen.
Or whatever. And then, so I think the gift is Rickon. Osha did take him to the Umbers. So I think it is definitely going to be Rickon. And I think you're going to see Osha there too. But it's, I feel like they may keep, I don't know if Ramsay's this smart, but will they keep him hostage?
I hope so, because you saw those burning bodies in the preview.
You know what? I think they may keep him hostage. I think Ramsay's going to, usually he's very impulsive. And he wanted to go and kill Jon Snow in Castle Black. I think he's now going to use Rickon as a chess piece.
Yeah, because he seems happy when he sees that whatever gift it is. Like,
and he's gonna
I've got my chess piece back, basically.
And he's going to do that. He's like, okay, I have a Stark. Great. He's going to send a letter, maybe a pink letter to Jon. I have Rickon. Let's make a trade. Sansa for Rickon.
Yeah.
Like, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, it's all talk. But
if Rickon somehow makes it out of this alive, though.
He's not making it out of this. I think he's going to make it alive until maybe the end, maybe episode 9 or episode 8. I think he's going to be held hostage, though.
Okay. Because if you're thinking he's living, there's even no point to Sansa's story at all. Like, for me, that's it, because he's the one that they'll leave.
Rickon is hostage now, man. He's literally just up for ransom. He's a chess piece. He's just going to be sitting there. But then he's going to die in maybe episode 8. Maybe they're going to let us, like, remind us of Rickon. Make us a little bit, like, close to Rickon again. And then take him away from us, like, episode 8.
Yeah.
But I think that's definitely the gift. Another gift, maybe, would be information of Jon's resurrection. I wish I didn't even say that. That's stupid. They wouldn't even get that information. It, like, just happened.
They don't even know he's dead. Nobody would have sent any information that he was dead.
Yeah, never mind. That was stupid. I take that back. And then we see the Tower of Joy. We see young Ned Stark too. He's like, oh, man. It ends. And now
I hope that's I wish it was a fucking full episode of that.
It looks insane.
Because, like you said, you always kind of push me on this theory about Tyrion. There could be so much in this memory of them, like the Robert's Rebellion, what happens, and all that little, like maybe even a small battle that happens between Robert and what's the Targaryen's name that he ends up killing.
Mad King?
No. Robert kills
Rhaegar?
Rhaegar, yeah, in the battle in the river, right? The River of Jewels or whatever it is. And
Rhaegar leaves his Kingsguard and his members there to help.
Yeah, they have like a full-on duel in this river. I remember reading this, and like he hits him with the warhammer, and like all of his jewels come off of his like armor, and they called it that after. Really cool. It's like a one-on-one fight. It'd be so cool if they showed that, and then they showed like the Mad King, which what you said is messing around with Tywin's wife, and then you get that. You never know, man.
I think that may be a later reveal. I think they're gonna do it in pieces. I think this episode is the reaction to Jon, right?
Yeah.
So I think this episode is realizing that Jon is Targaryen. Okay, the Blood Raven is Targaryen.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like he's teaching. You don't even know if the Blood Ravens is like the best interests of
Yeah, we
Bran.
have no idea. I have no idea.
They may have
his motives
conflicting
at all.
views. They may have conflicting views. But to me, it's a move of, see, Bran, Targaryens are good.
Yeah.
Jon Snow, your brother's Targaryen, and then it's going to be an exploration of the Targaryen lineage.
Yeah.
So it's going to be...
I agree with that.
This episode is educating him on Jon. The next episode, oh, Dany's doing this. You know who she's with? Tyrion. And then they kind of see a flashback of Tyrion's heritage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see maybe, the Mad King and his fate with Jaime. So it'll be, I think there'll be like little segments that'll be broken up among a ton of different episodes depending on what character arc is most important.
Yeah.
If Tyrion does something crazy, then that you're going to see a flashback maybe of, his heritage or whatever, or his lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Tower of Joy. I think it's going to work out exactly as planned. Like, they're going to beat it. Ned goes up. Promise me, Ned. And that's Oathbreaker. Ned takes the oath to always protect Jon Snow and never tell anybody.
Yeah.
Did he tell anybody? Did he break his oath?
Nope.
Or was he the only one who actually kept his oath in this episode of Oathbreaker? We will see.
Yeah, Ned always does seem kind of like regretful, doesn't he? Like when he was alive, at least. He always seemed like kind of like, oh fuck, I can't believe I have to do this again. Like he just seemed happy in the north. Then Robert came and said like hi, and he's like, oh god.
Yeah, well,
like,
he's so happy.
Again.
Like he's happy living his life with his family, and
Exactly. He was just done with all that bullshit.
Yeah, and like with his he's had resentment. Like he loved his wife and the Catelyn and all them, but even then he got a bit of resentment because the honorable Ned Stark was seen, brought back a bastard, but he endured that. He chose to endure that because it was what was right. So I think that's what's so interesting. But then going on to Arya, we see her kind of training even more in the House of Black and White.
Yeah.
I'm finding really interesting with these episodes is there's like a crazy revelation every single episode.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what her revelation is. Guarantee she's not just training. Something has to happen.
I still think they're gonna drag her out.
See, it's like
gonna be another 3-minute scene, not even, of her just getting the one up on the chick, or maybe impressing Jaqen.
Yeah,
somehow.
So it's like either that's the revelation. She's getting the hang of it and she's doing really well. Or maybe she learned how to warg and is blocking things from looking into something else's eyes.
Yeah.
But I think that's wishful thinking. I don't think they do that quick. I think, and then maybe even time is passing, really. Like, they made it seem like time was passing with her because she was so much more beaten up when Jaqen came to see her.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be like even more time has passed and we see her just like little bits of her training throughout time.
Yeah.
Daenerys, we're going to see Daenerys. I think she's going to be in the Vales Dothrak. She's going to get her clothes ripped off like in the trailer. And then maybe Oathbreaker. Maybe she breaks her oath with the Khalasar. Maybe she escapes this episode.
Like just on the lamb.
Maybe Drogon comes.
Stirs up the pot, gets them out, everyone running.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's like Oathbreaker. I'm always trying to tie something to Oathbreaker.
Yeah, it usually has more than one meaning.
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like she stays in Vase Dothrak or whatever this episode. I think next episode, Drogon comes.
They wouldn't leave it like, oh, you gotta go to this place, and then not show what this place is.
No, they're going to show it, and I think it's going to be her living with it for an episode, and then Drogon will come either an episode or two later.
Yeah.
Bran the Three-Eyed Raven, boom, we'll see him Tower of Joy. Will they start the episode? I think they'll start the episode.
Maybe.
I think it'll be like...
I hope so. I love that shit.
I think they'll start it, because I think you'll see Bran kind of... his revelation of Jon dying and coming back, and then the Blood Raven taking him to the Tower of Joy and showing him that.
Yeah.
King's Landing. What the hell happens in King's Landing? Are we gonna have a fight now with the Faith, or is it gonna be more?
I think it's gonna be a flexing of the muscles. It's gonna be threats. It's gonna say, "Hey, you better let those guys out, or we're gonna do this and this," and then they're gonna say, "Well, the Faith only does this and that unless they do this and that." So
Yeah,
it's
this
just
could be
gonna another.
yeah. This could be where the conflict starts. Like they
Yeah.
come and collect Cersei for her trial, and she stands up. I choose violence. You know what? I think that happens in episode 3. I
Yeah.
choose violence. All this shit goes down, and then she freaks out at Jaime, tells him to go get his armies, go get the Tyrells, go get everybody. They're fighting the Sparrows, and I think that whole conflict starts in episode 3.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be because they're gonna try and take her.
Yeah, nobody's getting their hands on her. She's gonna get destroyed in other ways.
Yeah, and in Meereen, I don't think any dragons. I think it's gonna be
A harpy
threats.
attack.
Exactly. I think he's gonna get a threat from all the masters. I think they're gonna come up to visit him.
Yeah.
And they're gonna make some threats, and I don't know. Who knows how he'll handle it? I don't know. Do you think we'll see the dragons? Do you think Tyrion will go back and see the dragons? I think it's only natural, right? In a sense, because he freed them. Now it's time for part 2.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll just feed them, but I feel like that would be kind of at the end. I feel like the main part with Tyrion is the threat from the harpies or from the masters.
You see, like, this sort of explosion that goes off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, he's sort of a master strategist. Like, he came up with the Blackwater Bay thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows? Like, he could do something crazy. Like, he's capable of really anything. So, I don't know.
Well,
we're
we're going to be seeing a lot of that, definitely. Who knows? Like, he might even...
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's really good at manipulating and stuff. Speaking of amazing, Sansa is...
Oh, God. You could audibly hear me roll my eyes. If you listen
okay,
carefully to this one.
So Theon is gone. Theon is on his way. You're not going to see Theon this next episode.
Hopefully you see his head on a spike.
you're going to be seeing Sansa, Bran, and Podrick. This time they're on the move.
Yeah, hopefully for your sake.
I think they're going to end up at House Mormont. Or it's going to be another travel. One more travel until House Mormont. But I think they're going to go to House Mormont. I thought it would be Umber. But by the looks of where they're standing with Ramsay, no way. They're going to probably... what did I just say? The Mormonts. And they're huge supporters of Starks. Which is good. And I think that's where that will go. And then she'll get all, ladied up again, and then she'll be the rally of she'll rally all the bannermen.
Yeah, she'll explain what Ramsay did.
But then when will she learn about Jon? Because she's wanted to go, but that's where they're headed right now. They're headed to the north because that's the only place they think they're safe. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So are they going north? Will Jon see Sansa?
Do you think there's another encounter?
Yeah, I think
before they get there though.
I think there might be, there's definitely going to be another counter, but I think ideally you're going to see them go to the wall. She's going to see Jon. I don't know, maybe Jon remembers her, maybe he doesn't. Who knows? He died and he came back. I think he'll remember, but I think the whole...
So you really think he's, like, changed like that?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I'm just trying to consider all the options. Because everyone thinks he's going to be changed. I don't think he will.
No.
I'm just weighing everything out here. But, I think they'll meet up, and I think Jon will tell her to rally the bannermen, and he'll tell her first to go to House Mormont because they've been so loyal to the Stark cause. Because I remember with Stannis, like, they turned down fighting for Stannis because they only served Stark.
Yeah.
So I think that was really important. I think that's pretty much it, really.
I don't think Sansa's even going to really find out that he died.
We'll probably tell her. Everyone will think he's a god.
No, I know, but it's just like that's unimportant to anyone who didn't see it at this point, right? They don't even Ramsay's even under the impression that he's still alive.
And then the idea Jon is gonna arise as a Stark in his mind, because that's all he knows. He's gonna be like, okay, I'm Jon Snow, but hey, I'm not a part of the Night's Watch anymore.
Yeah.
How is he going to be legitimized? Did Robb, there's a thing going on if, like, Robb wrote a will and legitimized Jon. I think that's kind of, like, they never hinted to that, so I think
he was in the middle of the war.
I think they
would
would
have wrote a war, like, they wouldn't expect him to legitimize him if he's a bastard on the wall.
No, I think it was a move, though. No, because I think you can pull people from the wall. I think you're allowed to do that. It's just very frowned upon. But, yeah, I just don't know how Jon will figure out his heritage or how... I have no idea. But,
I don't think it matters for him. He just knows what he has to do.
You know what? That's true. It really doesn't. And then, like, he'll form a relationship with a frickin' dragon, and then there you go.
I don't think so at all. I think he'll just use whatever he gets.
I think he will. And then here's another theory I just want to touch on really quickly before we end it. You know how Daenerys always said, before the sun rises in the west and sets in the east?
Yeah.
Couldn't that be Jon? Jon the sun rises in the west, raised in the west, and sets in the east. Like, he'll go on a quest to go find Daenerys because she has the tool that could save them from the White Walkers.
It could be, yeah. It just seems like... What's the quote again?
Because then, that's another thing she says. She says, I will see you again, or something along those lines, when the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Meaning that, like, if Jon goes from the west to the east, then Dany's free to die.
But, like...
when the sun rises in the west, sets in the east, then they'll go back to west, and then she'll die, and all this shit will go down.
That's just like, to me, it just sounds like when pigs fly. Because that's not how the sun rises. Rises in the east, sets in the west, right?
Didn't she reverse it then?
I don't know. That's what it seems to me like. It's like
I
will change the order of the universe to make my plans go through.
Exactly. So it means that. It means infinite, but then it can also be taken as a prophecy, which I think we need to go in more depth with that next week, next episode.
Well, that's what I mean. I think everything that we theorize is really all based on Jon right now. We need to know Jon's motives going forward because I've said this almost every 15 minutes. Nothing matters now except for Jon. I know that's not Jon fanboyism. It's just like he is the one that knows of the real threat. All this other bullshit about thrones and like kings and loyalty and all that shit is nothing because they're all just humans in the way of these monsters that are coming. So his is now really the only important story. These are all now just loose end stories that need to be wrapped up. Yes, they're still entertaining, but we still need like resolutions for these. Exactly. And that's why I really think it's ending with that wall coming down, and you know that the next couple of seasons are going to be holy shit.
Yeah.
Like the monster war is coming.
Yeah, and it's funny too, Jon was always my favorite character, even from episode 1. When I didn't even read the books, he just ended up being my favorite, and it's funny how now he's like the savior.
Yeah.
But yeah, like over watching some episodes, I think I'm not really particularly religious, but I think Jon will become kind of like a Jesus. Like, there's all these different religions, but I think after the end of this series, everyone's gonna be singing and praying to the Song of Ice and Fire and the God of Ice and Fire, the one true God, which would be kind of Jon Snow, or like he won't be referred to as Jon Snow, but like in quotations, like the God of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, I think it's just like he becomes the king of both worlds. He knows how to make it work for both sides. As we've already seen that with the wildlings. So he's going to come to a compromise that says, okay, we need you sort of north of the wall again. You can have all that stuff. We won't bug you. But that's so endgame. Like, it's almost pointless to talk about right now. We know it's going to get to some sort of resolution like that.
One final thought. Maybe he doesn't become the king, but he becomes the Night's King.
Yeah.
The next Night's King.
But on the human side, you think?
No, on the White Walker side.
So you think he becomes a Blue Man Group?
At the end of the whole series, when they sign a pact and maybe form a peace treaty, Jon may go over.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But
that is the end of this crazy-ass episode. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, that's really far. That's a hard one to stitch together.
Yeah, we talked about episode 2 all the way up to the finale of the whole series.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed, guys.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this in-depth analysis. Let us know what you think.
Let us know. Like, I want to know people's favorite characters.
Yeah,
I
favorite
don't want to
characters.
know favorite storylines.
I want to hear your predictions most of all. And I want
Theories,
to hear,
everything.
if you agree or disagree. But we'll be back more punctual next week. Hopefully, the day of, you're going to be getting a reaction from us. No structure whatsoever. We're just going to be talking the episode, giving our thoughts, and then an in-depth analysis episode, which we are doing right now, probably a day or two after the episode has aired.
Yes.
And that's it. Anything else to say?
That's everything.
Peace out.
See ya.